Hello YouTube, Luigi here. You're looking at a piece that I started 2 years and 1 month ago, September of 2016. And it just sat and languished for all these years, 2 years and 1 month, along with 5 other pieces, because I couldn't get past the hard coating barrier. This is my very first piece carved out of styrofoam. I'm drawn to this medium because of changes in my studio space. It's a good fit for me if I could only have gotten past this hard coating issue, which I think I finally have. So I'm going to give you a quick spin, rotating this 45 degrees till we come back to the front, and then I'll show you what has changed since I picked this up again, what I've dared to change about this. Sometimes it's good to let things sit for a while. Okay, this is what I call the front. And we're just going to buzz around this quickly, no commentary, and then I'll show you what I've changed. Okay, back to the front. Here's something to consider. Look how flat this oval is. It's pushed in relative to the surface of this rim. And look how pushed out now this new orb is. This was like a flat plane. This is pushed out. That's what's new. On the right side, you can see the orb is more round. And also the undercut at the bottom is deeper on the right. So that's what's changed in this one. This was the side, and on the left you see an attempt to display cell division with mitochondria and all that other stuff. This piece was so thick, I had to stick something on the sides, and that's exactly what it looked like, were afterthoughts. And I was never happy with the proportions of the thickness that you see on the left. So I took a carpenter's crosscut saw, it might have been a drywall saw, and I cut the middle third out and threw it away. Well, that's not true. I carved another piece out of it. And then stitched the two pieces back together, and you get now the thickness, or lack of thickness, that you see on the right. This is the new side view, what you see on the right versus what you see on the left. So this was major. For you to take an axe to your work after it's this far along, this took some amount of guts and no small amount of trepidation. But I think it was worth doing. Here's the back side. Well, what I call the back. On the left, you see the baby in the womb. Yes, but the baby is huge. Look at the shoulders on this creature. Look how wide those shoulders are. Oh, boy. If you look at the same baby on the right, you'll see the shoulders are a lot more narrow. I've rotated the shoulder so that the shoulder, as we look at it, the shoulder on the right, I'm looking at the right image now, the shoulder on the right side is more proud, more forward than the shoulder on the left, indicating that the baby is turned somewhat in the womb. Also, look at the second leg, the leg on the left. It's much, much, much smaller and further pushed back than the one on the left side in the right image. And also, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some pencil marks there. I'm going to put a minimal facial features, just minimal, like the brow over the eye cavity, to make it look like the baby is looking down and to our left. Now, I realize I've used this cervical motif before. I didn't realize this till last night, but here it is in a very early piece, which I call, on the right, the womb. And there you clearly see the cervical opening at the bottom. And you see it on the left, which is sort of more pronounced. So I got to work on that, bring it together a little more, make it look more like the one on the right side. Okay, so that's what's going on here. I've used this motif before. And here's the opposite side that got axed with the third. It actually had a DNA strand on it, and I got rid of that, and here's what that side looks like. today on the right side. Let's see what's next. And now we're back to the beginning. So now we'll just spin this around and take a little more time looking at it. I didn't explain the piece, the meanings herein. That's your job. But I did explain what 2 years worth of letting it sit and my change in vision has prompted me to do in terms of tweakings. And that's all. I haven't given any secrets away here. But there's motifs on this side alone. There's 4 different motifs here. One of them has 3 different but related meanings that work into the whole thing here. So this is what we're calling the front. A slow spin around. You can see how much this sticks out now when it used to be dead flat. And obviously this is unfinished work. Obviously it's a work in progress. Obviously it needs more sanding and finishing. So just get used to it, okay? This is not a finished work. I'm not presenting it as such. And there's always a danger here because, I'm an architect, for God's sakes, and I know what it's like to deal with people who you can describe your brains out about something and deal with people who are unable to visualize anything. So just look at what you're looking at, but just remember it's not finished. I'm not going to describe where it's going when it will be finished. But just stay tuned and you can see that for yourself. Let's go back one here. There's that side that got, here we're turning around to the back. Here's the baby that's lost a lot of weight. She fits a lot better in there. She's not as cramped shoulder-wise. And, babies are really carried in this position until the onset of labor, and those contractions are to flip the baby upside down and get him or her head down. That's what those early contractions are, just flipping the baby. Now you think about it. Think of all the dozens and dozens and dozens of ultrasound pictures you've seen. Have you ever once seen the baby's head down? No, that happens at the last minute, but the baby is carried pretty much in this position. So here we go. There's that side that's skinny again. And you can see how that sphere is bulging out at the front. And back to the front. I like this piece. It's abstract, yet it has, well, I'm not going to tell you what it has. And I'm glad I got back to it, and I'm glad I solved my hard coding issue. That was the problem. How did I solve it? Well, I'm not going to give that away because I think the fruits of my experiential labors belong to me. I'm happy to leave the world, as any artist is, I'm happy to leave the world all my products. But the process, where the magic happens, where one is shoulder to shoulder with God, the process has to remain mine. That's the only sacred part of this I wish to claim. Everything else I give to the world. All right, everybody. Take good care. God bless you. I love you all. This is a work in progress. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.